Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Joshi and I'm a real estate broker based in Toronto in the GTA. On today's video, I wanted to cover the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board's statistics for their 2021 year in review. Now, we have a few key market trends, but overall, majority of dwellers in the GTA know that 2020 was a record-breaking year, both in terms of price and in terms of number of units. A number of factors contributed to that. People looking for more space, some people looking to come back into the city post, pandemic, even though we're not completely through it. But the mass exodus from Toronto in 2020 started reversing itself in 2021 as we saw people coming back into the city of Toronto. At the same time, the suburbs around Toronto actually grew in price because a lot of families, a lot of people, whether first-time buyers, size up buyers, or investors, were looking for places with more space, which drew suburban growth in the detached, semi-detached, and townhome segments. If we look at year-over-year sales, in 2020, we had 95,066 sales. And in 2021, we hit a new record of 121,712 sales. So that was up 28% compared to last year. So 2020, 2021 sales were up 28%. Now, if we look at listings, it was sort of an interesting dynamic. In 2020, we had 156,000 listings, and in 2021, we had 166,000 listings. So that was up about 6.2% in 2021 compared to 2020. We are seeing, as per the current market, as of January 2022, we're seeing that we are having an inventory issue, meaning even the new listings that are coming onto the market are really not enough to service the buyer demand that is in the market at this time. In 2021, the average price of all homes sold through Trev MLS was reported to be above $1 million. So that was $1,095,475 was the average sales price for all home types in 2021. That was a 17.8% increase from 2020. And in 2020, the price was around $929,000. Overall, we are seeing that inventory was trending at or below 1 month in 2021, meaning that if something was coming onto the market, or all the inventory that was on the market, it would take less than 1 month for all of that inventory and all of those listings to be bought out and come off the market. So there was a ton of increased competition that we saw in 2021, and that's predicted to carry through 2022 if we don't see a significant increase in inventory. In terms of sales volumes, in terms of number of units, we saw that in all home categories, the number of sales units actually went up from last year to this year, so from 2020 to 2021. Detached homes in the GTA, in terms of units outside of the city of Toronto, that grew the most. There was an 18.2% increase in the number of detached homes sold in the GTA. Within Toronto, there was also an 18.2% increase. However, in terms of number of units, there were around 11,000 units. And in the GTA, it was about 43,000 units. Now, if we move on to the semi-detached segment, also in the GTA, so in suburban cities surrounding the city of Toronto is what I consider the GTA. So there was a 20.3% increase in the number of semi-detached units sold. And within the city of Toronto, there was a 25.2% increase in terms of the semi-detached units sold. Moving to townhomes, again, looking at GTA, which is cities outside of Toronto, there was a 25.8% increase in number of units that were sold, so number of townhomes that were sold. And within the city of Toronto, there was an increase of 33.1% in terms of units of townhomes sold. Now, in all of the homes that we've discussed so far, percentage-wise, they were kind of neck and neck between Toronto and just outside Toronto. But in terms of number of units, we can see that detached homes, semi-detached homes, and townhouses, sales were very, very heavy in the suburban areas. And obviously the suburban areas that we count as a part of the TREB network do count a lot of cities. So all the way from Durham region over to Halton region, and, Dufferin County and Simcoe to the north. So it's quite a large area, but I just wanted to point out that in terms of percentages, the growth was very, very close. Now, moving on to condo apartments, that sort of flipped. Percentage-wise, again, very similar, and we'll go through it here. But in terms of units, the concentration of condo sales was, in terms of units, was within the city of Toronto. And we had 23,000 units sell, condo units in the city of Toronto, which was a 51.7% increase in terms of unit sales within Toronto. So we know that in 2020, when everyone sort of left Toronto, things came onto the market and they were unoccupied, or there was a number of factors that played into it in terms of the condo market in 2020. But moving into 2021, we had 51% increase from 2020 to 2021, which we saw because there was a ton of condo sales. Prices with condos went up significantly within the city of Toronto, and we saw that trend throughout the entire year. It's continuing right now with record sales for condo apartments, and prices as well climbing higher. If we look at condo sales within the GTA, we had 10,000 units, so under half of the sales activity that happened in Toronto happened here. But even in the suburbs, in the Greater Toronto area, it was a 53.3% increase from the unit sales that were happening in 2020. So definitely an increase in terms of units, all across the board, all home types and all areas, which we saw with a super active market in 2021. I'd also like to share that in terms of, if we break it down in terms of regions, we had strong sales growth all across the GTA. In Toronto, the condo market led a lot of that, with prices going up and units, in terms of how many units sold, that also went up. And in the suburban areas, there were strong condo sales, but a lot of the low-rise segments, so townhomes, semi-detached, and detached is what led the growth outside of Toronto. So if we just go briefly by region, overall across all housing types, Toronto saw a growth of 36.9%. York saw a growth of 35.3%. Peel region saw a growth of 25.2%. Halton saw a growth of 19.7%. Orangeville and presumably the county around it saw a growth of 16.3%. Durham region saw a growth of 14.2%. And Simcoe County saw an increase of 10.2%. Now, all these statistics are available through the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board's Market Outlook. I will share the link below if you'd like to look into it. If you have any questions about Toronto real estate, about GTA real estate, or financing, give me a shout. I'll put all my contact information below. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. That's all for this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.